Hey guys, Kaylin at Open Mill Farm. These videos should have been made weeks ago, but I'm just now getting around to it, so it'll be fine. Lowe's did something they called SpringFest, and you signed up on Thursday, and then the following Thursday you drove through the parking lot, and they gave you some type of spring kit. And the very first one was called a Garden to Go kit. And it's actually pretty cool. It came with, and please don't judge my poor little plants because like I said, this was a couple weeks ago and they've been living in the greenhouse with minimal care. But they gave you this cool little plant and a bucket. And it was one per family, and you signed up online, like you registered, and like I said, you registered the week before for the kit you'd be picking up the following week. And so the bucket came with the handy little lid, and inside was gardening gloves. There were 2 packages of seeds, Miracle Grow plant food, and then a small bag of Miracle Grow potting mix. Now, when I discussed with my friends who also signed up for this, one of them agreed with me that as a Garden to Go kit, you were supposed to turn the bucket into a garden. The other friend said she didn't see the sense in wasting a perfectly good bucket, so she'd be planting her plant elsewhere. I am going to make a bucket planter. This is one of my favorite things to do. It lets you be able to move it, take it, wherever the sun is. If you plant it early and frost comes, you can just take it in your house real easily and protect the plants. And so I'm going to show you how to do that using what Lowe's gave me. Now I'm going to set aside my flower seeds because I'm actually going to plant these outside. These are the giant zinnias. And then I'm not going to use my gloves right now just because I do everything hands-on. I actually went and bought a second bucket and a second plant. This one's tomato. What they gave me is sage. My OCD kind of likes things balanced, so I wanted 2 buckets, one for each side of wherever I set them. And then I bought this too, because even though you could just do straight dirt in the bucket, I like to do lava rock in the bottom of my container gardens, just because it helps with the weight a little bit and the drainage better. So I grabbed that. But now I'm going to show you how to turn one of the buckets into a container garden. Okay, start with your bucket. It's super easy. Turn it upside down. Grab a drill with a drill bit. And just put some drain holes in the bottom. So, got 4 little drain holes so that when I water, any excess is going to drip down through the dirt, through the rocks, and then out the bottom. One of the cool things I thought too, now I did not buy a second lid when I bought my other bucket because I don't have like a porch that I'm worried about or anything. But it dawned on me you could take the handy dandy little bucket lid and use it underneath as like a drip catch kind of tray, like, because my mom lives in an apartment where their plants have to have something under them on the decks. So I mean, that's actually really, really handy. So there's that one. And then this one's been sitting outside. Oh, sorry, Mr. Slug. Okay. So, drain holes in both. And then, I'll move my poor little flowers before they get knocked over worse. Okay, I'm going to split the bag of lava rock between both of them, and this is, I don't even know how big a bag this is, half a cubic foot. I want to say I paid maybe $4 for it. I don't think it was very much. It's been sitting outside too. Drain holes work. Another good reason for doing this out in the greenhouse. Okay. Both buckets are now filled up to right about here with the lava rock. And then the potting mix they gave is not really big enough to fill all these, so I actually have some leftover potting mix of my own that I'm going to add. This has been sitting in the greenhouse for a while, so it's kind of dry. So it's going to need watered a lot. Okay. So I filled them basically to the top with potting soil. Now I'm going to dig a little hole down in because I'm also adding, I don't see the sense in raising rabbits if you're not going to put their poop in everything you plant. And so I'm going to put a little bit underneath. And then, so this is a tomato I got, and it's called a bush Goliath. It is a hybrid. Now, I don't normally do hybrids. I don't know if that's going to focus. Well, anyways, it's a bush Goliath. It's a hybrid, and it's a determinate, and I got it specifically because I knew I was putting it in this. I normally do heirlooms in everything I do, but because I knew I was putting it in the bucket, I wanted something that was going to stay small. I'm going to break the roots up a little bit, and then you can see this poor thing has already started rooting up there, so I'm actually going to stick it kind of deep and break it up a little bit. And then that's the tomato planted. And then my poor sage. It's just plain old garden sage. I want to loosen its roots some. And then it's planted. And then all I have to do now is decide where I want to put them, and they need watered. And I'm actually considering, both of these will stay, relatively compact. So I'm contemplating maybe adding some trailing herbs or something on the sides just to kind of dangle over and make more use of my space. But that's all there was to it, and it's pretty cheap, pretty easy. Can't remember exactly what the buckets cost, but I want to say they were like $3 or $4 too. Potting soil is usually the most expensive thing. But, it makes it so that if we get a late frost, I can bring them into the greenhouse, I can bring them into the house, the garage, wherever that would make them safe. I can move them with the sun. So, like, if you have a part of your yard, like if you don't have any part of your yard that really gets sun all day long, you can kind of follow the sun with these. It would be time consuming, but, sometimes you got to make do with what you've got. So, I really like these bucket gardens, And like I said, I know my friend said that there was no way she was wasting a perfectly good bucket by putting holes in it and planting in it. But I did, and I did it twice. So I hope that was helpful. I hope if this is something handy that you guys can try, that you will try it, because it was cheap, easy, and super handy. Thanks, guys. Bye.